This is the new BMW X8. Its aggressive grille and lights define its bold character. Let's explore its performance.
There's something undeniably intentional about the way the 2027 X8 exists in the lineup. It's not trying to replace the X7, and it's definitely not pretending to be practical in the traditional SUV sense. This feels more like BMW flexing its design and engineering muscle, a statement piece disguised as a flagship coupe SUV. Spending time digging into it, what stands out isn't just the size or the presence, but how confidently it leans into excess without becoming clumsy. The proportions are dramatic, long, low for something this tall, and unapologetically wide. It has that same visual tension you see in high-end Grand Tourers, except it's sitting on massive wheels with the right height of a luxury SUV. Inside, the atmosphere walks a fine line between futuristic minimalism and old-school opulence. There's less of that cold, tech for the sake of tech vibe that sometimes creeps into modern cabins. Instead, materials feel warm and layered. Leather, metal, ambient lighting that's actually subtle rather than nightclub-inspired. The rear space, interestingly, feels more like a lounge than seating. This is clearly a car designed for owners who might spend as much time being driven as driving. On the road, it doesn't behave the way its shape suggests. You expect something heavy and slightly distant, but the X8 moves with a kind of restrained authority. It's not trying to be sporty in the aggressive, twitchy sense. Instead, it carries speed with composure, the sort of confidence that comes from deep reserves of power rather than urgency. Steering is precise without pretending to be communicative, and the suspension tuning leans toward control over softness. The strongest point, without question, is its sense of occasion. Few vehicles in this segment feel this distinctive without crossing into gimmick territory. It feels expensive in the way that matters, in motion, in silence, in solidity. The weak point, visibility and usability take a hit because of that dramatic coupe profile. Rear space is generous, but the sloping roof and thick pillars do make the car feel more closed-in than something this large probably should. One unexpected detail is how restrained the drivetrain character seems to be. You'd expect theatrical noise or exaggerated aggression, but the power delivery is surprisingly smooth and almost understated. It's more about effortless momentum than drama. In a market where luxury SUVs are starting to blur together, the X8 feels like a deliberate attempt to create something polarizing rather than universally liked. And honestly, that's probably the right move for a vehicle sitting at the very top of the range.